What is going on, YouTube? Tygerz here again with another video, and today I'll be talking about how I do my vocal processing inside of Bitwig. Now, I know I've touched on this briefly before, but I never really got like super in depth with it. And as you guys can see, I'm no longer in that old crappy room I used to be in. I'm actually in my new home studio, and I'll actually be putting out a video about my little quick walkthrough tour of my little studio here in my next video. But let's get into what I was talking about now. We're going to go into my vocal processing chain. And this is actually for a new song I started working on with a friend of mine who's a rapper. And this is kind of what we came up with. So I'll give you a quick peek into this new unreleased track.
I don't need my phone, cause it get me in trouble. Feel my styrofoam, now I'm seeing double. I feel like DJ Kelly, I wrote another one. And everybody in the party got a double cup. Everybody on the...
Okay, so these vocals were recorded right here in my studio because I have a vocal booth right here next to me that I built, and I will show you guys how I did that as well in another video as well, because I need to put out more content, a lot more videos. But let's get into the whole point. I can't talk today. Let's get into the whole purpose of this video and into my vocal processing chain here. So I actually have two different sets of vocal processing going on. That's for pretty good reason, actually. So for the regular verses, which we'll go ahead and call all of this verses, and we'll call this the hook and the pre-build and the build, hook and build. I put those in the same category. So we'll go into how I did the verses, and it's pretty simple. I just quickly throw on a 1176 compressor. This is the CLA 76 from Waves, their version of it. What I did is I just kind of ramp everything up a little bit, really high attack, really high release, because on the 1176 compressors, the higher the number it is, it works backwards from a normal compressor. So on most compressors, you know, like for example, any built-in compressor too, when you're turning the attack and release down, it actually works backwards from the way this is. So turning this up to 7, same thing as turning it down. Ratio up all the way, and that's it for the compressor. EQ. EQ the vocals kind of harshly when it comes to rap vocals, and depending who I'm recording to, some people's voices, like, they're not really bassy. My friend here isn't the bassiest of voices, so I kind of cut a little more of it out there.
I don't need my phone, cause it get me in trouble.
And I kind of boost a little bit of the high range here. What was this, around the 10K area here? Only because my vocal booth isn't perfect, you know, but it is very good. But I'm recording on a SM58, and combined with my vocal booth, I don't get a lot of highs, but I get pretty good, you know. So just a little bit of boost there, that up there, and that pretty much finishes that off. A lot of times, normally I will kind of have my compressor at the end of the effect chain here, but for these vocals, because they're a little, as you can see, they're a little varying in volume here, I put it in the front of my chains. I wanted everything to kind of just equal it out, you know. I just wanted everything to be compressed equally, harshly. Auto-tune, because rappers love auto-tune, and I love auto-tune too. It's fucking cool. This is super easy. I don't even think I did anything with this, honestly. I think I just kind of threw it in the key, left it on retune speed of 20, which is the default, and that was pretty much it. This is the Auto-Tune EFX Plus plugin, too, for in case you're wondering. I think it's like $200. De-esser, pretty much left it at about 5,000 hertz-ish. Cranked up the amount tiny bit. And the last part here is a effects layer that I made. This goes into the vocal reverb chains. The reverb sidechaining. I made a video about that. I'll leave the link in the description. I'll probably put a little box in the corner here as well. So you'll be able to check that out, exactly how I did that. And I actually made a second video about that I put on my friend's channel, explaining how to do it in any DAW as well. So this right here, this method's kind of like a Bitwig exclusive version way of doing it. But there's also an easier way to do it. You can do in just about any DAW as long as you have send channels or return tracks. So any DAW has return tracks, you can do that same effect. And I'll put that video in the description as well. And basically what all this is doing, quick overview in case you haven't seen that video yet. What it does is, if I turn it off,
I don't need my phone.
very dry vocals, right? If I turn reverb on, you're going to hear reverb through the whole thing. But with this effects rack going on, it's going to do, it's going to duck all the effects, and when the vocal stops playing, so it needs little spaces here, these effects are going to kick in. So when I get a little bit of delay here, I'm going to get a little bit of this Valhalla room reverb that I have going on. So here, so you can hear what that sounds like.
I don't need my phone, cause it get me in trouble. Feel my styrofoam.
So you can hear it's kind of ramping up as it gets to these spots. Same way when you're ducking a synth for a kick when you're doing sidechaining, I'm just ducking the reverb during the vocal playing, which is a really cool trick and makes your mixes sound a lot cleaner and cuts through a lot better. Okay, so now on to the builds and the chorusy parts. And if I remember right, did I? Yeah, I did. So little trick, when you're trying to make things sound a little more exciting for a build up and for hooks and stuff like that, or choruses. As you can see, wasn't very creative with how I named these tracks, but because they both have auto-tune, but I named my build-up tracks auto-tune for some reason. But as you can see here, here's the Vox and the auto-tune tracks right here. Let's go down, and you can see it's just slightly louder on the auto-tune track. And you can tell from looking at the numbers as well. You know, I'm not gonna show you the levels. It's obvious. It's a little bit louder. Let's go ahead and get into how I did this.
Oh, you lit now? Yeah, I'm lit now. Oh, you lit now? Yeah, I'm lit now. Oh, you lit now? Yeah, I'm lit now. Bitch, I'm drunk as fuck and I can't sit down.
Okay, so real quick, because you might have noticed, my CLA 786 compressor here is now near the back of my chain, and technically it was at the end of my chain until I added this extra effect here. I'll get into why I did that. But just looking at the audio here, you know, it was pretty consistent across the board. So I was able to put my my compressor here at the end of my chain. And it makes it sound a little bit nicer having your compressor at the end. You always want to do EQ first, then your effects, then your compressor. But sometimes putting your compressor in the very front of your effects, or your effects rack, makes things. It's gonna bump everything up. It's not gonna bump just the volume of the vocal. It's gonna bump up like your effects, your reverbs, your everything you have on there. It's gonna make all that more apparent. So be careful when you put this in the front of your chain. But into this, same exact EQ, same exact auto tune. I think this one might be a little. Yeah, I turned reach and speed all the way up on this one. De-esser, same thing, just copy and pasted. Effects layer, same thing, copy and pasted. The big difference here, actually, this time is besides the volume, I added this thing called Little Alter Boy. And this is a really cool plugin when it comes to pitch shifting, because it lets you change the format without, and what you can do, you can change the format, you're kind of changing the pitch without actually changing the key of the song. So let's get into how I did that real quick. This makes it really sound really cool.
Oh, you lit now? Yeah, I'm lit now. Oh, you lit now? Yeah, I'm lit now. Oh, you lit now? Yeah, I'm lit now. Bitch, I'm drunk as fuck and I can't sit down.
Yeah. So I just got pitching the format down all the way from 0 to -12, so a whole octave. And right before that, it comes back in for the "but I can't sit down" part, bring it back up to 0, which is the key of where your vocals are in. And here I just kind of copy and pasted parts of it here for the midsection of the drop.
Oh, you lit now? Yeah, I'm lit now. Yeah, I'm lit now.
And that just repeats. I got the repeating over a couple times. But that is my entire, how I normally would do vocal chains when it comes to my own personal productions. And that's basically it. I don't have much to talk about. Leave a comment down below if you guys need any more help with stuff like that. If you want me to go in depth about how I do certain things, how I set up my compressors, like why I do it the way I do it, you know, things like that. Leave a comment down below if you need anything else with us. You remember, you can do this in any single DAW. It's not Bitwig specific. And definitely check out the videos I'm going to leave down below in the description as well for the Reverb Sidechaining. I will leave the video for how I did it in Bitwig, and I'll also leave another video how I did it in any DAW, with as long as you have a send track, which basically every DAW should have that. So, see you next video, guys. Thank you.